pressure to bring it home for Bristol.
I'm entrusting him in your care. I'm going to say to everybody, if they need him, they should probably come via you. That's what I tend to do when I'm travelling, if it works.
Yeah,
darling,
good.
I'll shout if you need me.
OK. Well, the rehearsals have gone pretty well, but they've not been perfect. So I'm hopeful that it's perfect on the day. And I think that's the right way round. Sometimes you can have perfect rehearsals and it all goes belly up on the day. Commissioners, presidents, mayors, mes amis verts, it's great to be here. I think the biggest strength we have in Bristol is a sense of fun. And I think it's vitally important that if we are to communicate with the citizens of Bristol, we do so in a way that none are doing.
Oh, wow. Isn't that great?
So when I get back to Bristol, we will be having Big Green Week, a week of environmental fun, of engagement. And at the end of Big Green Week, I'm starting a new initiative, Make Sundays Special. And we try out new things of closing streets. And to me, it's really important. So thank you for giving us this opportunity. And I look forward to the result with a certain amount of apprehension, as all of you do. Thank you.
The award of the European Green Capital 2015 goes to the city with the sense of fun. Bristol. Congratulations.
Three, two, one, les sourires, s'il vous plaît. Voilà, merci beaucoup.
You're welcome.
How come you're not wearing red trousers?
Because I said if we won the European Green Capital for 2015, that I'd wear green trousers for Big Green Week. Yeah.
Lovely day for it.
Yeah, Bristol has a very small mayor. It's exactly what I wanted to happen, things like cricket and tennis and basketball in the streets. I mean, what I'm really impressed by is the way I've just said these things to council officers, and they've happened. Brilliant. That's exactly how it should be, you know.
Stand up, girls. This is the Mayor of Bristol.
Yeah, and we can draw something, I don't know what...
There's a real contradiction in terms of Bristol being the European Green Capital in 2015, and yet we are one of the most congested cities in the UK, and the two don't sit very comfortably.
I was asked what is a principal theme for European Green Capital, and I think it is dealing with the level of air quality across the city. But to tackle that, I have to deal with the question of congestion.
Bumper to bumper. 50,000 vehicles come into the city during rush hour alone, but now 18 areas close to the city centre could become residents only during the day.
There are parts of Bristol that have been crying out for residents parking, and in fact previous administrations have looked at it several times over, but I think there was a general recognition that politically it wasn't going to be that popular rolling out across the city. So to George's credit, I think his vision and certainly his learning, having talked to other cities, you know, because it would be ludicrous to think he's just woken up one day and said, oh, hey, look, do you know what, guys, just for the chuff of it, let's roll out, you know, residents parking, because, hey, everyone's going to love that.
In your election manifesto, you said that you'd seek to devolve power to local communities.
Yeah.
You seem to have disempowered local communities by declaring that you'll impose a one-size-fits-all residents' parking scheme.
I think you misrepresent me, with due respect. I've said that I want this to be tailored to local needs. If you are within the scheme, I can't leave a hole in it. You can't leave a hole in a residents' parking scheme because that will just be exploited, and I can tell you that's what happens.
When people feel things are being foisted onto them, particularly if they're being foisted unexpectedly, their instant reaction is like, well, hang on a minute, what does this mean to me? I'm not going to be able to park my car outside, or it's going to cost me X much.
98% of the residents polled were not in favour of your tax.
Right. It's a road tax. It's a parking tax. It's a road tax. The traders have told you that should you pursue this tax, a lot of them will go out of business. Now, it seems to me, George, this is not about what they want, it's about what you want.
I wouldn't be doing this if I thought that that would be the result. The result, in most cases, has been exactly the opposite. That instead of streets being clogged with cars that park all day, you get much greater turnover and therefore more customers.
You're not talking to the population. You're saying, tell us your problems and we'll give you the solutions. You're not coming to us.
No.
But there's no real engagement. The engagement that you promised when you got elected.
Of course there is. Why am I here? We are completely open.
And you had your meeting at the
And by the way, this is the sixth... No, OK.
You have your website.
I've heard the question. Can we not repeat it? I listen to you. I expect you to listen as well.
It was blindingly obvious very, very quickly that the residents' parking rationale and argument had not been shared with the city. I don't feel we talked to citizens enough around encouraging people to use different modes of transport, and we can't roll out quickly enough improvements that mean it's feasible for people to get out of their cars as quickly as George might like.
Listen, Mr. Ferguson. No, no, no!
The Mayor of Bristol has suffered an embarrassing defeat tonight after councillors voted by 49-2 to stop his residents' parking scheme being introduced in its current form. Mayor Ferguson was criticised for failing to consult properly.
He managed to put the backs up of nearly everybody in the council chamber, including people like myself who in the past have promoted residents' parking schemes, by not really listening to the detail of what people were raising.
There was a great deal of public disquiet and councillor disquiet about the proposals as they were originally drafted.
I think sometimes George sees councillors as a nuisance trying to get in the way. We understand he now holds the executive power. I think what we want to see is that he understands that we hold a mandate from our residents, that it's our job to represent them here and put their viewpoint, even if that is on occasion a viewpoint he doesn't want to hear.
What the councillors like to project me as is intransigent, just telling people what to do, and I'm not like that at all. The objectors are the loudest. I don't in any way underestimate the power of all that, but I suppose I underestimated the councillors all rounding against it and against me. And in a way, the job becomes real when you get objection on that level. Take the papers home and see what they were saying about yesterday and the day before, because I haven't had time to read them. Over the weekend, I thought I have kicked up a bit of a hornet's nest, going for the total residence parking zone as one shot. The original proposal was 18 zones. I listened and I've adjusted it to 10 of those zones. We've considered what are major revisions to the programme. I will ask Cabinet members if they would like to add any comments, and I'm sure that some would.
My position would have been such that I could not have supported the original proposals as they were tabled. What is now put forward, I think, is a really positive sign.
We ultimately ended up with a proposal that still brings about much of what George wanted to happen, but brings it about at a slower pace, and it seems to me a better outcome for all concerned.
I will end up with a really nice thing that somebody said to me: the noble art of losing face will one day save the human race. And I genuinely thank you all for the contribution you've made. I mean, that was really good, moving from uniting the council against me to uniting the cabinet with me. I think that's a pretty good result. In a way, I think the year has gone both slowly and quickly. There's been a tremendous amount of change and, I think, achievement. And yet, I find myself a year on, still learning.
It's difficult for one mayor in one city to change the culture of local government. Power is still very, very concentrated in Westminster. And the jury's out on whether the government will live up to its pledge that those cities that opt for mayors will have more access to more funding. But I still think that he has the right to go up to Westminster and argue his case for special treatment.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to present you with a flower.
Really very kind. That's very kind of you.
Enjoy your day.
Yeah. Much appreciated.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
First of all, I voted for an independent mayor because I don't believe party politics should be in local government, right?
Yeah, good.
But I have to say, I think your dress and your red trousers are now beyond a joke, and you're degrading Bristol. That's just an opinion.
Yeah, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it, but I don't take that seriously. I am who I am. And if you want another suited councillor, vote for one next time. But I'm afraid you get what you get with me. Getting sit-down meetings with the Prime Minister and Secretaries of State are not daily occurrences. What I want to come out of this meeting is a much greater realisation that if they give greater trust to the cities and the city leadership, to give us more responsibility, to stop treating us like children with handouts, that is not the way to run a city. I've never liked authority, which may seem strange from a person who's in authority. So there's a little bit of anarchist in me, with a small a, and wearing red trousers. I think it's my little rebellion against authority, that I don't want to be told what I should wear. It was an extremely good meeting. I think we found lots of common interests. They realised the challenges I've got, and that there's an awful lot more I would like to be able to borrow and all that sort of thing. But I think the principal thing is that we have, I think, impressed them with what's been happening in Bristol, and I think they would quite like to share some of the benefit of it.
A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
We got some kids and trees. Well, I've always said, if you could make a city that's good for children, you make it good for us all. Good morning. Morning, all. I think children planting trees brings together a lot of those things I believe in.
So what are all your names? A quick, tell me all your names.
And the idea of planting a tree that actually won't be mature until after your lifetime is, I think, a special gift. Children across the city will be planting more than 30,000 trees in 3 years. That's the aim.
When you get made mayor, no one gives you a book and says, here's the book on how to be the best mayor.
George does upset people, and I think his style is different to your average politician. And if he thinks somebody's talking nonsense, he'll tell them in slightly colourful ways.
You know, you can't be anti-politics all the time if you are yourself a politician, and he is a politician.
This is much more fun than the council meeting.
It's amazing.
I'm not saying George is perfect. He is impatient. He can be deeply frustrating. However, in terms of what this city needs, in terms of passion and commitment and energy and drive and real vision, he's got that in bucket loads.
I think I'm proud.
A woman's pleaded guilty to murdering 3